3 years of silence, then my fiancé proposes to someone else at a holiday gala. That night, I kissed billionaire Ethan Blackwood, the most feared man in LA, and broke the internet. My fiancé of 3 years, who'd been giving me the silent treatment, proposed to his first love at a huge, once-in-a-day holiday gala. Later, I posted a sweet engagement announcement on Instagram pacting married. He called me that night, furious. "Ashley, I never said I was marrying you," I replied, all smiles. "I never said the groom was you either." Then a set of photos went viral, shocking the whole city. The most powerful man in LA, Ethan Blackwood, had his arms open, letting me fall into his embrace, and he bent his head down, letting me kiss him as I finished getting ready. My stylist gasped, "Ashley, you look absolutely stunning in that dress." I thanked her and headed downstairs, only to walk into a commotion. Through the massive glass doors, I saw my fiancé Mark, arm in arm with a gorgeous young woman. The kicker, she was wearing the exact same dress as me. Parent except hers was the real deal and mine was a cheap knockoff. It was the biggest holiday event in years. Everyone present was rich and influential and they could spot a fake a mile away. For the first time in my 21 years, I'd gone all out, part only to end up looking like a clown. "Mark, who's this with you?" someone asked. Mark squeezed the woman's hand. "This is Quilly, my girlfriend. Well, after tonight, she's be my fiancé refert." And Ashley Piper. Mark glanced at me coldly. "The engagement with the Millers is off. We've been more than generous to them these past 3 years." He wasn't wrong. Without the $1 million engagement gift, my family would have been bankrupt. My parents and siblings were still living the high life thanks to him. Mark knelt down and proposed to Quilly. She burst into tears and threw herself into his arms. He wiped her tears away, whispering sweet nothings. I watched as Kali, now elevated from struggling actress and the other woman, was surrounded and fawned over. After tonight, she'd be beholden royalty and me, I and the Millers, would be nothing. "Excuse me." 2 socialites with plates of appetizers looked at me impatiently. I stepped aside. "That dress is so tacky," one whispered. "Yeah, what kind of cheap fabric is that? Probably made in some sweatshop." I can't believe she's still here. So embarrassing. I ignored their cruel whispers and retreated to a quiet corner. My phone buzzed. It was my mother, her voice shrill with anger. "Ashley, the Howards are calling off the wedding. They want half the engagement money back. Stayed $500,000, 3 years, and you couldn't even hold on to him? You were useless. Guarantee it out yourself. We don't have that kind of money." I hung up, my heart pounding. This glittering world of champagne and diamonds wasn't for me. I just wanted to escape. I heard Ethan Blackwood's back in town and might be here tonight. No way, he never comes to these things. True, last time he was seen in public was on national news. My chest tightened. I reached for my purse to get my medication, but the rustling alerted the gossipers and they walked away. My heart began to spasm, a tight dress suffocating me. I fumbled with the clasp, desperate for air, but my freshly manicured nails were too long. I gasped for breath, leaning against the railing, my face pale. The party was in full swing. Mark and his new fiancée Refectus were probably dancing, oblivious. I was going to die quietly on this deserted deck. "Mr. Blackwood, shall we go in?" Ethan didn't answer. He took a cigarette from his case, dipped it in a small box of fragrant spices, and tapped it before accepting a light. "You go ahead, I'll finish this," he said, walking toward the railing. "It's windy out here, sir." The group dispersed, leaving him alone. Ethan was back in LA to consolidate his power. He'd soon be running the city. The gala organizers had pulled every string to get him to appear, but he wasn't interested. His family had been hounding him about marriage, so he'd come for a breather. Halfway through his cigarette, he saw a fragile figure slumped against the railing. He started to turn away, but then heard a thud. He looked back. In the dim moonlight, the figure lay on the deck, a vision of unexpected grace. 6. My vision swam. I saw a man, a stranger, and clung to him like a lifeline. My grip was surprisingly strong, pulling his arm to my chest. I struggled to breathe, my heart racing. He seemed to understand. Kneeling down, he took my wrist. "W, here is the zipper," he asked calmly.